Welcome into today's discussion, your urgency meeting today about resilience, your blockchain of resilience. This is the open journal, the public ledger of my experiences, my journey towards resilience that I hope connects to you on your journey towards resilience and self-discovery of your purpose, message, and your voice. It took me a long time to even recognize and accept my own voice, and then to provide it for your hopefully nutritional digestion and consumption as you choose to hopefully add something of value to your day. The intention of every episode is to further draw out my inspiration for the book Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, and use those examples as maybe potential burning platforms for you to build your own and then decide what's going to push you forward towards your own understanding and application of resilience. Today's topic is called the repository. I guess it's almost like a depository, but I selected that term repository for this chat today. Now, also from an ongoing conversation I tend to have with musicians that I admire and marvel at when they get a chance to meet them and witness their magic on the band stage. Especially when I encounter musicians of trumpet that I follow and that I have the pleasure to meet them personally and physically. You have to pardon my being a quasi-groupie, but I have met with and spoken with, even received lessons from, for example, Mr. Victor Garcia in Chicago, Marquise Hill, also from Chicago, Joe Brotherton in Washington, D.C., Wes Meyer in D.C., the famous, in not even by comparison, Roy Hargrove, Chris Bodie, Bobby Shue, yes, the Bobby Shue in Corrales, New Mexico, Ryan Montano in Albuquerque, Christian Scott, met him in Delaware, and Andre Malley in Albuquerque. But there are many more on that list, even one I never met, but to this day, my inspiration, two inspirations, is Chet Baker, my other brother. We share the same birth date, but Chet Baker, and then also, the gentleman from London, Mr. Matthew Halsall. Just loved his sound. Between Mr. Halsall, Chet Baker, and Andre Malley, those guys today, those are people I listen to every day to try to understand how they do what they do. And I can't ever be like them, but they are definitely my inspiration. So there are many more on that list. But when I had the opportunity to have a conversation with a few of those that I listened for you, I lamented on my inability to play anything worthy beyond the melody of a song or the tune itself. Because when it came to improvising on that melody, I was way, way underwater. I had no direction or idea of what I needed to play with the band on the stage and in sync with the rhythm and space and timing of the song. So even though that happened very infrequently, when I had the opportunity to get up on a band stage and attempt to offer my playing capability, when I had a chance to ask those musicians how they did it, they always say this to me repeatedly: practice, practice, and more practice. But they would also offer more guidance sometimes. Long tones, scales, arpeggios, chords, rhythm, space, breath, phrasing, feel. Stuff apparently second nature to all of them, but a foreign language to this old guy. They would say that with all of that under your finger stuff, you just play what you feel. I would say, huh? What? I still remain stunned today about how and when to get there. But as an old/young student of the trumpet, I would listen and carefully note what they would say to me. I would say yes, but it sounds plausible. But after I watch them perform and hear in live, real-time live, the sound they produce in flight, on the fly, I would say this to them after I listened to them. You seem to pull from some vast repository of sound and music and feel that I still cannot comprehend. They would nod their heads and put me back to what I needed to do. If I truly want to become a good trumpeter, long tones, scales, arpeggios, chords, rhythm, space, breath, phrasing, feel. And see, that's my problem. That's where my devilish impatience would come in and take over my mind and corrupt my heart. Just play and maybe something will come out of my horn instead of taking their advice on the process and the journey. I needed to build my own repository, not from kind of sort of scratching through tunes and written melodies, the stuff that sticks and puts that improvisation word into effect and in every breath I apply to the horn. After several reminders, my most recent instructor, Andre, has really helped me to understand and internalize and exercise the basic stuff that all the previous instructors told me. So maybe that saying about the student being prepared and then the teacher would appear. So as an indication of my growing and still very small repository of patience and practice on basic exercises that I certainly needed to prioritize, I now start to hear something different in terms of depth and sound and roundness of the sound, even a bit more with clarity in what I play. Of course, that's my opinion of my practice in my little room by myself. I will see maybe tomorrow what the crowd says at the next jam session. But I'm saying this to say this. Build your repository of resilience on those areas that I mentioned to you before, on beauty, desire, drive, love, courage, listening, leading. Keep defining and refining the lessons you learn on your journey. Observe and communicate and build to draw from those. Learning from that library is the action of the thing I mentioned to you as part of your perfect educare, to draw out from what is already within you. Hopefully, like me, you are the same way, must keep pushing to keep building. Stay present. Stay current. You know what time it is, where your heart is, here with 820.